Hello, everyone. This is Mario Cardenas, aka Mortgage Mario, the proud owner of MortgageMario.com. I have Realtor Dana on the Zoom call with me. How are you doing today, Dana?
Hi, I'm great, Mario. Thanks for having me.
It is a pleasure and honor to have you here. Thank you for waking up early to be on this call. I know that you have a lot of business you got to take care of, so we can keep this short and sweet. But Dana, if you can have the pleasure of introducing yourself and your business, and kind of just explaining a little bit of what makes your business great, and how you can help your clients in the buying and the selling process of real estate.
Okay. Hey, yeah, great. So I am Dana Smith, and I am a realtor with Atlanta Communities here in Cartersville. I do work out of the Cartersville office. And this coming up January, I will have been in the business for 8 years.
Wow.
I started out with Keller Williams, like most agents do, because they do offer great training. And I worked on the team as a buyer's agent. So I had about 4 years experience just working completely with buyers. I did a couple listings for friends, but the majority of my business started out just working only with buyers. When I left Keller Williams, I left the team I was on and went to Atlanta Communities as a solo agent. And since I've done that, I love being Atlanta Communities is a great brokerage, great office. We have great people. Lots of help, lots of information classes that they give us. Just a great family environment. They make everyone feel very welcome. But since I've been with them, I have stepped into a little bit more of the listing side. So I am trying to get a little bit more listing experience, and I probably have done several since I've stepped out on my own. Most people who are in this business, even people who are looking to buy homes, know that now it has been for the past several months a extremely difficult time for buyers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, prices have skyrocketed. They're insane. And I've actually even told some buyers, look, let's just lay low for a couple of months, see how it goes, because it's very competitive, very hard out here. And I'm sure there's a lot of agents like me, but I know there are some that are not. But I work with the mindset of I'm going to treat people the way I would want someone to treat me, and I want to be fair, very honest, and I don't believe in people paying more for something if it's not worth it. So when I tell people, I've told some buyers, let's just not stop looking for a couple of months. Let's just wait, because I don't want people spending their hard-earned money for something that they're really overpaying it. And I know that may sound crazy to some people, but I'm not like that. Yeah, do I want to make money in this business? Of course, but I also want people to be happy in the long run, and not a couple of years from now say, well, you got me by this house. It wasn't worth what I paid for. So it's been an extremely challenging time for buyers. I do see it slowing down a little bit now. Prices are starting to come down just a little bit. I don't think they're probably going to get back to where they were, a year ago, but they are starting to come down just a little bit. The market is starting to slow down some. And it's still, if you're a seller, it's a great time, for a seller to sell a home if you have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
That being said, you got to have somewhere to go. But yeah, I enjoy what I do. I love it. I don't think I could ever go back to a regular 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
I love helping people buy their dream home, and listening to what their wants and their needs are, their desires, and matching them up with that perfect property that will make them happy in the long run.
Yeah, it is really rewarding to see them go through the house hunting process, and it can be stressful for buyers, mainly on the buyer side, maybe not so much on the listing side, but it can be stressful, finding the perfect home, and it's a big purchase decision. But and that's kind of what the loan officer and the realtor are for, is just take away some of that stress from them, and to do a lot of the legwork and negotiating, so you can get them into the perfect house. But it's extremely rewarding once you finally get them to the closing table and you hand them the keys to the house. So I think that's kind of what gets me up and out of bed in the morning, and makes this very rewarding, because sometimes the people would see what a realtor does in the back end or a loan officer, you're like, why would you do that?
Right,
we're on the phone on the weekends, and late at night, and you're showing houses when I'm sure you have family get-togethers and you're missing on certain events. Yeah. I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss on that the normal 9-to-5 employee wouldn't miss on. But I think that's kind of what keeps us going.
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So what have you
Yeah.
been doing? So that's good. So you said you've seen things on the buy side slow down a little bit. Hasn't been such an extreme seller's market. Obviously, relative to the, ever since the housing market's been around, I think we're still kind of considered more into a seller's market. But things
Hmm.
have, from what you've communicated to me, that things have dialed down a little bit. So what
Yeah.
would you tell the buyers from that perspective, maybe that are holding out?
Well, yeah, I think it's starting to slow down just a little bit because I think buyers got fed up. This is, my
Yeah.
honest opinion. I think buyers got fed up and just said we're not paying these, ridiculous prices for
Yeah.
these homes that 3 months ago was not, was 20,000 less than what it's, worth now. So, um, especially, you got a lot of millennials now buying homes, a lot of, the younger generations, and they're just, they're a different breed, and they're just, saying we're not going to overpay for a home. Um, but like I said, I do see prices starting to come down just a, drop just a little bit.
Hmm.
So, which is a good sign. Again, I don't think it's going to go back to where we were, 6 months ago. But there is starting to be a little dip in some of the homes. And even I listed a house just this past week in Covington. And when I was doing my research on looking up comparables, homes are staying on the market a little bit longer in that particular area. They're staying on the market a little bit longer than we saw, a few months ago as well, too. But buyers that I'm working with now, I try to get them one with a great lender. I do get buyers sometimes who, they've already gone through the talk to a lender.
Hmm.
And if it's someone I don't know, someone I haven't, had experience with, I do have a conversation with that lender. And if, I try to get them to someone who I know does a great job. And, like we were talking about earlier, it's very important to support local. And we have some great local lenders, around here. Um, because having a strong lender,
Affinity home lending. I heard those guys are pretty good. I'm not
yes,
buying.
yes, Affinity. But
Yeah.
as realtors, we all know having a great lender, it makes all the difference in the world. It makes, I mean, it could make or break your deal. So,
And it's crazy, like the concept to think of like, hey, you're being loaned out $500,000. Do you want the guy that's in your backyard where you can walk up to their office and look in
right,
the eye and ask them questions, and after the loan process is over, where you can still use them as a resource? Or do you want
right,
some on the internet across the country, and if your deal gets blown, or they give you a bad deal, obviously, then they're long gone. I mean, it's not a difficult concept to
right,
understand.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
having that open communication is very important. And with some of these big corporation lenders, you never talk to the same person on the phone.
right.
When you do finally get somebody on the phone, oh, that's not my department. Let me get back to you. So yeah, it can be very challenging with some of these bigger mortgage companies. But so having a great, lender is very, very important. Um, I would also advise buyers, try to go ahead, go through the underwriting process because that can help your offer look a little bit stronger. Um, I have a great inspector that I work with that can quickly, like the very next day can do inspections. So that can help a buyer out having that resource readily available as well. Um, yeah, and if and we all know, if you can go conventional, that's the way to go, right now. FHA, I think it's a great program. Where I live, we are USDA territory, which I know a lot of lenders don't do. Georgia Dream is another one. Um, so there's several options out here for buyers. Yeah.
So I've come across obviously a lot of FHA borrowers because the qualifications are a little bit lower, and
Hmm.
you can have a higher DTI, lower credit score, and it has deterred, it being a seller's market has deterred a lot of FHA borrowers. Have
Right.
you had any experience with any of your FHA borrowers getting their offers accepted?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Okay.
I've had some FHA buyers that we've been looking for, 6, 7 months now here, but they're some of them price points are pretty low, so it's very hard. Inventory is really hard, and nowadays if you're looking below 250 is almost impossible to find now. Um, so it has been very hard for my FHA buyers. Yeah, very hard.
Okay.
But I think with some I think an email came out the other day. Maria, you can definitely speak more about this than I can, but some of the FHA restrictions changed, I believe. Um, I just kind of glanced at the email because I was in the middle of
I think
something.
they're supposed to increase the loan limits, and
Right,
I believe
right.
for 2021. I'm not exactly sure what the off the top of my head what it's going to be, but right now that range is in Georgia. It's anywhere around 356 to 418 purchase price, and
Hmm.
that's not counting the upfront mortgage insurance premium that gets financed into the loan. But yeah, they're supposed to increase that. And then also one thing that's helped me was a lot of people that tend to have FHA loans have a lot of student debt. And one thing that's helped me, I believe it was in August of 2021, so really recently, the FHFA, redid the guidelines for determining student loan debt. So
Right.
I believe it was typically around 1% of the student loan debt where you have to include in the monthly DTI, but they actually lowered those restrictions, and that allowed me to qualify, some of my clients. So that's good, but the rules are constantly evolving, and so yeah,
Yeah.
that's very important why your lender wants to stay on top of all the different rules, because it's like, there's just a bucket load of rules and regulations, and then you have to remember all those, and make sure
Right.
that each loan product has its own set of rules, and then they constantly evolve and change. FHFA continuously amends those. So, but yeah, and
Hmm.
a good lender will obviously work with the realtor to make sure that we're up to date with all those regulations.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I will once that number comes out. I know for conforming conventional loans, they have up that to about 625 to 50, I think. Not
Hmm.
625 plus. So that's good. So there's a little bit more meat in the bone right there. And I think a lot of that's just it's just to keep up with the market, because the houses on average, I believe in 2020 appreciated 29%. So if the houses are going to appreciate that much and the price point's that high, they're going to have to raise the loan limits for all these conforming loans. Like that's
Right.
just to keep up with the rate of appreciation and also the rate of inflation. So these rules are constantly evolving just to adapt with the current housing market. So
Right. Yeah. It's a challenging time, but it's also a great time. One of the first things I tell my buyers when we start looking is you got to have patience. I mean, you
mhm.
got to have patience, but it can happen. It may take a little time, but it will happen. So, um,
Oh yeah. So well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show this morning. I appreciate it, and
thank
I'm
you for
happy to hear
having me.
that. Yeah, the pleasure is mine. And if I don't see you until Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to hear that the business is going well and that you're safe and your family's doing well. So, yep.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
you.
well, cool deal. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. You too.